Hey guys, this is a client makeup tutorial. She's a client and a very good friend of mine, and I did her makeup for a wedding that she was going to. So I just primed her lids with some concealer. I used the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and I'm just going to set the whole lid with the ivory color in my 35O Morphe palette. You could use any palette or any shade for this. It's just as long as it's an ivory or bone shade color. And now I'm just filling her brows. I started off with the ANASTASIA brow definer, and then I go over it with the ANASTASIA brow powder, both in ebony. And going into that Morphe palette again, I'm using this brownish color. You can see me dip into it, but you could totally just use the Just Peachy Mattes palette and use Peach Tea or Fresh Picked as the transition shade. It was really similar to the one that I used with Morphe. And I just taped the outer edge of her eye so that it would be an easier cleanup and it would give us a nice cat eye effect. And I'm building up that transition shade now. And next I'm grabbing the Just Peachy palette, and I grabbed some of Peach Punch just to warm it up, and I put that everywhere that I put the transition shade, but mainly all over the crease and in the outer corner just to warm it up and give it more of like a pinky undertone. Now I'm going into Just Right, and I place most of it in the outer corner and then slightly bring it into the crease, focusing most of the product right along the edge of that tape so that it'll be the darkest there. Just to darken it, I built it up with Peach Tart and Chocolate Dip. I just dipped my brush into both of them and I really intensified that outer V. I made the crease in the outer V pretty dark because I knew I was going to cut the crease. So I wanted to be really defined where the crease was once I put the concealer on. And to cut the crease, I just use a small concealer brush and take that same concealer, that Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, and I followed the natural shape of her lid, but I go slightly higher just to emphasize the beautiful shape of her eyes. She has huge, beautiful eyes, so I really wanted to emphasize that in this look. And I don't bring the concealer out all the way, I just bring it to about 2/3 of her eye, and I leave the outer corner dark. And I use my finger to kind of smudge out where that concealer meets the dark shadow so that it would be nice and blended. And I don't know why my camera stopped recording here, but for the lid shade I used a mixture of peach butter and peaches and cream in the Just Peachy palette. And then we peel off the tape. We also did her wing liner. Off camera she wanted to do a smaller wing, so we didn't bring it out as far as the eyeshadow. And for foundation, I just used my SMASHBOX 15-Hour Hydration Foundation, and I mixed it in with that NARS Longwear Radiant 15-Hour Wear Foundation in Stromboli to get her perfect shade. And for concealer, I used the NARS Ginger mixed with a little bit of SEPHORA Bright Future Gel Serum in Custard just to add some brightness. And I'm taking a small concealer brush just to clean up the edge of that eyeshadow. Make sure it's a nice sharp line and I don't ruin it with the Beauty Blender. And now I just set her face with the Too Faced Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. I'm just setting her T-zone because she doesn't have oily skin, she has pretty normal skin. So I just want to set under the eyes, right in the T-zone. And for contour, I went in with the Fenty Beauty MATCHSTIX in Mocha. I put it along her temples, forehead, cheekbones, and right under her jaw. I also sculpt her out her nose with this. And now I'm just taking a flat top kabuki brush to blend all of this out. Honestly, I did have a little bit of trouble blending it out along her hairline because her hair was already done and I wanted to push the product right into the hairline, but I didn't want to ruin her edges, so blend out her along her forehead or her temple yet. I just did the cheeks, and then afterwards I went in with the Beauty Blender to blend it out. And now I'm just taking my Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer in medium, and I'm using that to set that contour on her nose. And using that same bronzer, I'm just showing her that it smells really good. Going with that same bronzer, I'm just going to bronze up her whole face. I'm putting it everywhere that I put that contour. For blush, I'm using Tarte Party. It's a really soft, subtle pink that's perfect for this look because the eyes are so dramatic. And for highlight, I went in with my Anastasia kit in Sun Dip, and I mixed Summer and Moonstone together, and I'm putting that on her cheekbones, on the top of her brows, and right on the tip of her nose. And for the lower lash line, I just used Fresh Picked and layered in Peach Sangria, and I did her lashes and lipstick off camera, and that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.
I'm gonna take one on my iPhone. Oh, it looks really good.